What's the problem, Angela, with white, first of all? Why was white too white?
Well, I think it's sort of virginal, isn't it? You're very pure and you haven't had lots of affairs or been married before or anything like that. And I think it's for the first marriage that you have as well. And I think she didn't like it that Meghan was dressing up as if she was, very virginal. She didn't like that because she knew it wasn't true. She'd been married.
And how do we know that the Queen didn't like it? What was said? Did she express her dismay to somebody?
Yes, I mean, you could see it on her face, though, in the church. She was looking with a very cross sort of face, and she always expressed herself very clearly, and she just didn't like it. She didn't like it that the then Prince Charles walked her down the aisle. She thought that was completely unnecessary and wrong, whereas he did it very generously. She didn't want it to be made as a really proper royal wedding, I think. And afterwards, of course, yeah. Meghan said, she said that they were married 3 days before with the Archbishop of Canterbury, saying she didn't want a huge fuss, but of course she did want a huge fuss. £31 million was spent on the wedding.
Well, you could argue from what we're hearing from Ingrid's book that she didn't want Charles and Diana to be made as well as one. But she did have other ideas. How credible do you think it was that she thought that Diana would have been a more suitable partner for Prince Andrew?
Well, I'll tell you, because I wrote a book about Diana's parents and things, so I know quite well. Her father, Earl Spencer, was an equerry to the Queen, and the Spencer name was going a bit downhill. People weren't inviting him to places and all that. So he decided to really go to try and get Diana married to Prince Andrew. Because he said that that way she would be right in the royal family, but she wouldn't have all the stress that you would have if you married the king, the future king. So he really pushed it. And I was told that he asked the Queen if she would help get this sorted. And there had combat because Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, and Diana's grandmother, Lady Famoy, wanted her to marry Prince Charles because they thought that it would be very good for both families. And the Queen Mother, who adored Charles and he adored her, felt that he deserved a very nice girl who was very pretty and sweet and, charming. But she was so naive, and it was very difficult for her. She used to read Barbara Cartland all the time, and she felt that her prince, when she started going out with Charles, would be just like the princes she reads in the book. I know it sounds very naive, but that's what she felt. And the fact that he didn't eat with her every evening and that he wasn't always there, he was very busy because he's always been a workaholic, was desperately unhappy for them. But she was also quite damaged already because her mother left her. She was 6 and her brother was 4, and she felt it was her fault. Her 2 older sisters managed it much better, but she felt there was something that she could manage, and she used to get up in the night and look after her brother. So it's always a very, very difficult situation. And her father wasn't a kind man. The Spencers, going back 3 generations, used to hit their wives if they didn't behave. And I think it was very a difficult home to live in. So she was very sensitive, and it didn't work for her that he didn't spend hours talking with her and was very romantic.
No way was Camilla's name popping up in any lists of preferred partners or anything like that?
Well, you see, they knew that the Queen wouldn't appreciate Camilla, because at the time, and it's not the same now, that they had to be virgins. It's all maybe to do with the white dress, I don't know, but they had to be virgins if they married the heir to the throne. That was absolutely complete. And Charles knew that. That's why he didn't actually propose to her much earlier, because he knew that that was not going to work. And it did in the end. But the Queen actually really liked Camilla. She would go up to Scotland with her first husband, and they would talk horses and dogs, and they had a lot in common and a very good sense of humour. But once she started going out with Charles, absolutely she couldn't do that. And her mother,
Angela, I'm afraid we're all out of time.
Okay.
But really lovely listening to you. Thank you very much indeed.